It has taken me a long time to perfect my day trading routine. And I don't just mean my strategies, I mean how I trade, my morning routine, my trading environment, and making sure I am mentally prepared as well. I have a few challenges. First, the market opens at 6:30 a.m. here in Southern California. That in and of itself is pretty tough, but the time isn't actually the challenge. I'm a morning person and I like starting my day early. The challenge is I have young school-aged kids, so that hour is kind of like rush hour in my home to get them out of bed, awake and fed, and of course actually transporting them to school. The second challenge is I run an alert service, so people are waiting on me to share my trades in real time and every minute matters. Thankfully, I am really dialed into my strategies and the mechanics of placing my trades. I am an expert in setting up advanced orders and or managing them from my phone. I always joke that if I wasn't a mom and I didn't share my trades with others, I could probably just trade from bed, from the beach, or some remote place in the world a la Tim Sykes. I'm just kidding. I am super blessed and I count my lucky stars every single morning for health, for wealth, and to be able to make a living from home.
So, in my perfect day trading world, I would enter a trade, share the trade, and then just set up a closing order and walk away from it. Easy peasy, no more decisions to make. I do this for the most part, except the walking away part. I have to watch my position because my closing order is only if my trade reaches its profit target. If the trade moves against me, I have to change that order to my stop loss order. So, in other words, I have to babysit it. There is, of course, an option to set up both my take profit order and my stop loss order, but I never do that. Those never work out for me. So, and this is one of my most frequently asked questions. You guys seriously ask me this all the time, is how do I set up my stop order or my stop limit orders? And the answer is I don't. I don't use them. I don't use stop limit orders. So, one day, or a couple weeks ago, I was in a small position and I'm like, I'm going to illustrate why I never use these. So let me show you an example of a failed stop loss order. All right, so for context, I sold to open this spread, this position, for 95 cents credit a contract. My trading plan is to cut the trade if it reaches 1 times the premium. So 95 cents times 2 is $1.90. And to take profit if the spread decays to 50 cents, thereby netting me $45 a contract. Disregard the contract sizes. I was only closing 3 because I was leaving 1 on until expiration. So anyways, the way that I set this up in Thinkorswim, which by the way, these paper clips mean that it's a one cancels the other trade. If my profit target order fills, this one gets canceled and vice versa. So this is how I set up this stop limit order. If I only wanted the order to get triggered if the bid of the spread touched 220. If it touches 220, then send the order to stop me out only at $1.90 or better. So why did I pick 220? Because I was giving it room for error, room for electronic error, which is the whole reason I don't use stop limit orders. I figured 30 cents was enough of a buffer for error, but also not too far away that that my order doesn't get filled at all. Like I don't want it to get to 220, 230, 240, 250, and then it never touches $1.90, and then I'm really panicking. So I thought 30 cents was enough of a buffer. So guess what I got filled for right after I sent this order? $1.85. How? Why? Why did it fill me at $1.85? $1.85 is actually a better fill price than $1.90 because it's a lesser loss by $5 a contract. But all that confirms to me is that the true price of the spread was nowhere near $2.20. So I mean, I don't really know how to explain exactly why that happens. On this particular day when this happened, my members' response to me is that market makers just fill hanging stop orders. And I mean, I don't know. I find it really hard to believe that market makers care about some measly little contract stop order hanging out there. Or really any contracts that are, or really any orders that are smaller than like 100 in volume. I mean, we're talking about the S&P here. I seriously doubt little teeny tiny orders like this make a difference to market makers. So like they're not hunting this order. But I don't know how to explain it other than every single time I set a stop limit order, it gets filled. So long, if we're anywhere within like 40 or 50 cents of $1.90, my order is going to get filled. And I think it's just the nature of electronic trading. I know this is all really dependent on the price action and volume on any given day, but I do get asked all the time, how do I manage my losing trades? How do I set my stops? And this is why I don't use stop loss orders. I would love, to hear your feedback in the comments below if you have similar experiences, especially I think it's just really particular or really specific to multi-leg orders and ZeroDTE trading. So, setting stops on longer dated trades, I'm sure work very differently. But for me, I just have to watch the spread, but know that using a mental stop, which I guess this is what it is, I never call it that, but I guess that's what it is, requires discipline, okay? It's too easy to start talking yourself out of changing the order when you see the price approaching your stop price. So, discipline. There are a lot of day trading strategies, whereupon once you enter your trade, you simply set up that buy to close for your profit target, that buy to close for your stop loss, and you have no more decisions to make. You let the market and your trading plan take over, and that's perfect especially for newer traders who struggle with discipline, conviction, following their trading plan. But in my case, specifically with ZeroDTE and credit spreads, I just find that stop orders do not fill effectively. And it's really the one obstacle that's keeping me from having a very set it and forget it type of routine. But otherwise, I am incredibly grateful to have found my flow. I still, after all these years, wake up excited to trade the stock market. I honestly feel like semi-retired. I am done trading by 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I don't think about the market again. I love ZeroDTE because I don't have any overnight exposure. I don't think about my positions before I go to bed. I don't worry about gaps. I don't even care where the market opens tomorrow. This is a season of gratitude, and I am so grateful for everyone in my corner at Axe Options and here on YouTube. I have made so many wonderful connections and I've made so much money doing it. I mean, what a freaking blessing. I asked my Instagram community the other day, how can a person make an income without an employer, without a business, and without selling a product or service? And I really don't know of any other way besides day trading. And I feel so lucky to have mastered these skills. And I wish you all the best. Happy holidays.